Thanks for having me. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to speak to you all. So I'm here to talk about the research that I'm doing. So I'm a student in Swansea University and I'm doing my PhD. So my subject is investigating the transition from pediatric to adult services and the management of ongoing care of adults with OI. So I thought first I'd say why I decided on this topic because it is kind of niche, but it's mainly because I did my master's in Swansea as well, and I did my dissertation on the psychosocial impacts of OI on adults in the UK, and it raised a lot of questions with me. Future research, and why aren't these things being done, especially with transition, because there was so little out there about the transition from pediatric to adult services for OI. So I thought, why not do it? Why not do the research myself? Because, I have personal experience with this because I have OI myself. So I know how much these services are needed. Next slide, please. So the whole aim of the research is to really get a better understanding of what happens in that transition from pediatric to adult services, or what doesn't happen, just to kind of explore the whole area and really get a better understanding of what people with OI go through. So as you can see, these are the general objectives of the research. So to understand the transition, and also to identify any changes that happen in the care between pediatric and adult care. Are there inconsistencies in treatment, things like that. Also to understand the needs of adults with OI, because we know that there might be changes in what people need as they age. As we heard this morning, there are a lot of changes in OI as you get older. So I wanted to understand that. And ultimately, I really wanted to develop something for adults with OI so they could be so that we could all be better equipped to manage the care, because obviously there isn't an adult service for adults with OI. So I thought if I can provide something, then maybe we could kind of bridge the gap. Next slide, please. So the first kind of phase of my study, I wanted to speak to people and hear from their experiences, just to get their stories. This was the qualitative phase of the study. So this was a series of online focus groups, and we had a really good, diverse group of people in these groups, ranging from age 26 to 66. And we had people from Wales, England, and Northern Ireland, which I thought was really good because it was only a small sample size, but we managed to get a really diverse group. And there was just discussion on pediatric experiences, adult health experiences, and that transition. And there were other discussions as well, including health needs, and just kind of the stories that they had from their care. Because I really wanted to hear from it, because I knew my experience was limited and I wanted to get as much as I could from other people. Next slide, please. So the results, this is just a small overview of the results that I had from the focus groups. So it was clear that there was a limited transition from pediatric to adult services. That most people said there wasn't really a transition. Most felt that they didn't have the kind of support that they would like to have had. They didn't feel that adult services was as supportive as pediatric services had been. And there was also several people saying that it was difficult to get healthcare professionals to listen to them, and that there was a kind of lack of understanding of OI by healthcare professionals. Of course, we all know there are going to be some who do have a lot of knowledge, but unfortunately, they don't all have that knowledge. Next slide, please. So this led on to phase 2, which was the quantitative phase of the study. This is based on an online questionnaire, which the overall aim of this phase is to kind of add some more data to the findings from the focus group. So we'll be taking it all forward and really just to get an idea of the breadth of the issue. Are these things that the people in the focus group said, is this consistent across all of the UK? Are there differences in different areas? just to really get the finer details that we couldn't get from the focus groups just because of the limitations on the number of people that could be involved. So yeah, next slide, please. So the questionnaire, it's still live, and we are really keen to get as many people to take part as possible. It takes about 20 minutes on average to complete the questionnaire, but that varies a lot. Some people, I've seen a lot of people who only take about 8 minutes to complete the survey. Other people, it's about 30 minutes. There's a mixture of question types. So some will be open-ended questions where you can kind of type in whatever you like. If you want to say something specific about your experiences, you can do that. And there's some closed-ended questions, which just means it's multiple choice. It's divided into 4 sections. So then the first is about your OI. It just asks about, your type, your diagnosis, things like that. Then the second is about your pediatric care, and then about the care you've had as an adult, and then finally questions about demographics, age, gender, etc. Also, there is a question before the final section which asks, is there anything you want to mention which doesn't fit into the question? So if you feel that there's something really important that you want to say but isn't covered in the questions, you can write that in that box. And I'm happy to have anything you feel is important included there. Next slide, please. So this is what you would see when you open up the questionnaire. It's just some information about how the research is being done, what's being done with the data, how it's being protected and things. Or also the research has been cleared by the ethics board in my university, but also has been approved by the scientific advisory board in the Brittle Bone Society. Yeah, and the GDPR things are all in that page as well. So you can be assured that your data is protected and such. Also, anyone who's over the age of 21 with OI in the UK is eligible to complete the questionnaire. So really, if we're not looking for anything specific, you just tell your story, answer the questions and share your experience. Because I just want to be able to have as much detail as I can moving forward with my research, because I want to be able to produce something that's going to help you. Because ultimately, it's not for me, it's for everyone else with OI. Next slide, please. So this is what you'll see at the end of the questionnaire. It's just some information. You can go to the Brittle Bone Society if you have more questions after you've completed the questionnaire. And also then there's contact details for myself and my supervisors. And then once you're happy, you can press the complete button and I get to read all of your interesting insights into OI and your experiences. Next slide, please. So here's where you can find the questionnaire. So there's a link there, which I'll also put in the chat. And there is a QR code which you can scan with your phone, so you can do it after the conference is finished. And I would just be really grateful for as many people as possible to complete the research, because I really want to be able to provide something that's going to help people and support people in the future. Next slide, please. Yeah, so if you have any questions, or if you're interested, you want to know more about the research and how it's being done, you can feel free to drop me an email and I'll get back to you just as quickly as I can, telling you as much as I can. So yeah, thanks very much.